Good afternoon. My name is Felipe Calle. I'm a professor of piano at the Conservatory of Tolima in Colombia. The presentation I'm sharing today is titled Colombian Music for Children Age 2 to 99, a pedagogical approach. And my main goal is to talk about a book from Colombian author Jesús Rey. The title of the book is De blancos y negras para negros y blancos. The main purpose of this presentation is to introduce to my colleagues to the book of 50 piano pieces composed by Jesús Rey, a collection that brings together Afro-Caribbean, Afro-Colombian, Andean rhythms in a didactic format designed for students from elementary to intermediate advanced levels. My aim is, on one hand, to analyze the rhythmic and stylistic foundations present in the collection, and on the other, to propose a classification of difficulty levels based on international standards such as those of the Royal Conservatory of Music. I also present a sequence of study that facilitates the progressive internalization of these rhythmic patterns, many of which are unfamiliar to students trained in classical tradition. I would like to talk a little bit about this composer, Jesús Rey. He was a Colombian composer and educator born in the northeastern region of the country, of Colombia, whose musical formation was shaped both by traditional Colombian music and by influences from jazz and Cuban music. His academic career developed in schools, universities, and research institutions. In 1997, he received a grant from the Colombian Ministry of Culture to compose the book of 50 pieces, conceived as an entry point to Latin American repertoire for young pianists. The work reflects the country musical diversity through the characteristic rhythms of Colombian five main geographical regions. The pieces in this book are organized around two major rhythmic systems. The first is the Afro-Latin syncopated system, based on clave, which is the unit of two or three groups of 8 notes, and which underpins genres such as son, contradanza, bolero, danzón, and milonga. The other is the Andean and Llanero system, characterized by bimetric structures. The systematic use of emiolas and patterns derived from the superposition of 6, 8, and 3, 4 meters. Those are present in genres such as pasillo, bambuco, pajarillo, and carranga. The diversity not only enriches the student musical vocabulary, but also introduces specific challenges in reading, hand interdependence, accentuation, pedaling, and the understanding of Latin American rhythmic systems. Those are the 5 regions of Colombia, which is located in the northeastern corner of South America. Those regions are also reflected in this book. Not only are geographical but musical regions of this country. I propose a classification by levels according to the Royal Conservatory of Music piano syllabus. Based on the criteria of technical challenges, especially issues like motor coordination, rhythmic complexity, and the control of phrasing, I propose the following approximate correspondence to the RCM levels. First, levels 3 and 5 are introductory pieces, generally based on simple homophonic textures or repeated patterns. Then, levels 6 to 7 are pieces that include internal and external syncopations, complex ostinatos, imitative dialogues, and a moderate use of rubato. Then, some of the pieces are level 7 and 8, and there are works that require preliminary off-the-piano work in activities such as clapping patterns, counting aloud, and identifying the clave, the rhythmic scheme. This is due to the rhythmic superposition, problems of hand independence, and harmonic complexity. I would like to introduce some of the pieces of this book. First, I would like to talk about the piece called Son. This is based on the Afro-Caribbean clave that is displayed in this picture. It features external syncopation and an ostinato that supports a call and response textures of African origin. It includes a montuno section that introduces the first approach to improvisation. Its main challenge is its accent displacement, which requires preparatory corporal and vocal work before instrumental study. Let's hear Son. Although it's not a traditional Colombian rhythm, I would include this piece called Milonga due to its relationship with the 3-3-2 clave pattern. It presents imitative textures inspired by guitar playing and parallel third vocal lines. Its expressiveness requires careful rubato and pedal control. It corresponds approximately to the level 7 of the classification of RCM. Let's hear Milonga. Next piece I would like to show is Bolero. It's a slow, sentimental song coming from Cuba and Mexico from the end of the 19th century. It's influenced by Italian opera especially, and also by German lieder. This genre is characterized by extended chromatic harmony, including ninth chords and sometimes tritone substitutions. The texture expands to three voices and demands more sophisticated rubato. It corresponds approximately to level 8 of the RCM classification. Let's hear Bolero. Next piece I would like to introduce is Danzón. It's a ballroom dance originated around 1840 from English country dance and Cuban contradanza, peaking around 1920 to 1940. It combines the clave with cross rhythms between both hands, alternating triplets with dotted 8 patterns. Pedaling requires special care. I would place it at level 8 of the RCM. Next pieces correspond to the Llanero and Andean musical systems that, as I said, are characterized by their alternance between 3/4 and 6/8 and the use of harmonic schemes. First, I would like to introduce the piece called Carranguerita, a piece that alternates between 3/4 and 6/8, and it's derived from the rhythm carranga, a genre from central Colombia that emerged from peasant adaptation of Caribbean rhythms. It corresponds to RCM level 4. Bambuco was considered for decades to be Colombia's national rhythm. It's a deeply bimetrical rhythm and features characteristic syncopations that often cause reading difficulties. Its notational complexity requires careful didactic attention. I would like to play for you this bambuco that contains secondary dominants, added harmony, and it's a simple melody against accompaniment. I would classify it at level RCM level 5. Pajarillo comes from the eastern plains of Colombia and Venezuela, and it's in a minor mode with a Baroque-derived harmonic progression from 1-4-5-5 and an ostinato in the left hand. It is fast, bimetrical, and technically demanding. I would classify it as level 7 in the RCM classification. Finally, Venezuelan merengue. Closing this collection, this piece is built on an irregular 5/8 meter, a modern reinterpretation of the Caribbean pattern. It requires rhythmic precision and bodily flexibility to internalize the pulse. Here is the scheme of the transformation from the Caribbean version to the Venezuelan version, missing one bit from 6/8 to 5/8. Finally, I would like to suggest a pedagogical sequence to study this book. For a progressive assimilation of this repertoire, I would recommend begin with the simple dances in the book, especially with the ones from the bimetrical genres, such as pasillo. Then, I would like to introduce Afro-Caribbean rhythms, beginning with contradance and later moving to son, milonga, and danzón. Always include off-the-piano work, clapping, singing, marking clave with the body, and rhythmic analysis before instrumental study. Finally, this book represents a valuable pedagogical tool for piano teaching in Latin America contexts and for Latino students elsewhere who are interested in diverse repertoires. Its pieces provide accessible exposure to the rhythmic riches of the Caribbean, the Andes, and the Llanos, while strengthening coordination, pulse, hand interdependence, and expressive control. I'm glad to share the complete PDF with those interested and to continue this dialogue on Latin American piano pedagogies. This is my bibliography. And if you have further comments or you want further information on this issue, this is my email. Thank you very much.